It was one of my mentors. I was talking about how there is so much gap between what we are teaching and what products would come out. He gave me one very nice word of advice. He said, quit yapping and start doing something about it. Once I did surgery, pediatric surgery appealed to me because it was like a precision. Then when I came into education, I had been controller of exams. I was vice principal curriculum. I had been part of international collaborations. I was dean academics. Then I became dean health professions education and dean of interdisciplinary studies.
So ma'am, now you are the vice chancellor. If you would have a choice, what would you introduce?
I would introduce technology into education much more, be it in terms of simulation-based trainings, be it in terms of getting digital learning and e-learning, be it in terms of training students in how to use technology in an ethical and more creative manner.
Aspects about the education. At one is the traditional teaching, and now the future seems to be innovations. So how do you think this should be balanced?
We are all into medicine because of the ethos, because of the ethics, the human connect which it helps. There are a lot of concerns now that with AI has come in. Will teachers become redundant? Will the university system or colleges become redundant because technology is taking over the world? No, I feel.
Hello everyone. I am Dr. Rajiv Ahluwalia, the Dean Student Welfare at Santosh Deemed University. And we are very privileged to have with us today Professor V.N. Mahalakshmi, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Santosh Deemed University. Welcome, ma'am.
Thanks, Rajiv. Thanks for having me here.
So, as is mandate, I will just give a brief introduction for ma'am. Although it's not brief, ma'am has done her MBBS from the Kilpauk Medical College and with 2 gold medals and 9 distinctions. All the students must note this. She has done MS in General Surgery from JIPMER with an open All India rank of 2. Then she has pursued her MCH in Pediatric Surgery from MMC Madras with a University and Open General rank of 1. Ma'am is FRCS in General Surgery from Glasgow. Her love and passion for the medical education is well known nationally. She's PG Diploma in Simulation Technology. And all of us went through the COVID. And during that time, ma'am has a kind of a record of coordinating Forefront of Future Frontiers, which was a webinar series hosting 108 consecutive weekly episodes. Congratulations, madam.
Thank you, Rajiv.
So, if you allow me, ma'am, can we start?
Of course, we can. And before we start, I'd like to thank you for having me here. And this is a nice opportunity for me to connect with our student community, our colleagues, and fellow educators in the country. And thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am. So, ma'am, with your, such a bright CV, it's very evident that, you have been an academic leader, throughout your life. So what was the spark that set you on this path?
Actually, out and out, I was a clinician to start with. And I was very much involved in improving the quality of care. So at that point of time, the interns used to come to me for about a week of postings from pediatrics. And I was a little bit disappointed with the skill set of the people I'm getting as interns, as PGs and all that. So then I took it up upon myself to have this interns training program wherein we were imparting skills on a small scale on a regular basis. And it was one of my mentors when I was actually talking to Dr. K.R. Sethuraman, who was my teacher as well as my mentor in medical education. I was talking about how there is so much gap between what we are teaching and what products would come out. So he gave me one very nice word of advice. He said, quit yapping and start doing something about it. So that is how I came into that. And I said, okay, now that I had been so far on the receiving end of the spectrum, so why don't I come into the production line and do something about improving the skill set? So that was, I think, one advice which changed the course of my thinking about education and training.
Thank you for sharing that, ma'am. Which year did you join MBBS, ma'am?
I joined MBBS in 1989.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, did you have a vision or did you ever imagine you will become Vice Chancellor of a medical
Absolutely
university?
nothing. Absolutely not. Like at that point of time, I was crazy about surgery when I came to my final year MBBS. Then once I did surgery, pediatric surgery appealed to me because it was like a precision clockwork, fine
Yes, ma'am.
watchmaker. No, so that was what, and that excited me. Then when I came into education, uh, I had been controller of exams. I was vice principal curriculum. I had been part of international collaborations. I was dean academics. Then I became dean health professions education and dean of interdisciplinary studies. Maybe towards the end of those things, I had imagined that it would be nice to be in this kind of seat, but serendipity, opportunity suddenly knocks your door, and suddenly you feel that it opens up. So that is how, when this happened, I think all of us have a dream, right?
Yes,
We
sir.
have a dream of becoming or achieving
Yeah,
something big.
we must.
So it was more like dream come true.
Thank you, ma'am. It's nice to know your dream came true. So, ma'am, if you could go back to your first day in your MBBS, uh, would you like to do anything different? What advice would you give yourself? Now you've been through such a illustrious career. Is there anything you would like to do different at your student age if you're given a chance?
Can I be very honest?
Please, ma'am.
When I was in my MBBS, I was a very nerdy student, a dork. Not much of extracurricular activities I got involved. So maybe if I were to do my student days again, I would be a little bit more open, more exploring other things. That is something I think I have missed out, but in my college days and all that.
So, we'll go to, ma'am, the next edition, kind of a leadership edition, which will be a choice between this or that. So, you prefer early morning meetings or late night brainstorming?
I would prefer brainstorming sessions in the evening and some kind of policy decisions, creative work in the morning.
Good. So, best of both.
Yes,
Or, ma'am, white coat or power suit, your dressing favorite?
white coat.
That was really quick. Mentoring students or shaping policy, that must be a tough one for you. Both are
Always
passion.
students first for me.
Okay.
enjoy dealing with students. I love working with young minds. The best time I have in as academician or as teacher is when I deal with the first MBBS or the first year students,
Students.
foundation course, when interns, when they step in, PGs when they step in. So those are the times like I really feel connected very nice with students. So any day students, policies, yes, they are essential, they need to move, but given a choice between these two, I'll always remain a teacher first.
Okay. So, these have been pretty quick, ma'am. You've been very clear in your choice. So, last one is probably maybe a little tricky, maybe not for you. Books or podcasts?
Books.
Okay, so that's this thing. So, ma'am, now you being in the Vice Chancellor's chair, uh, how do you balance tradition and innovation? Because there are two aspects about the education. At one is the traditional teaching, and now the future seems to be innovations. Even the government and the global guidelines are going towards innovation. So, how do you think this should be balanced?
See, the foundational concepts or the core concepts do not change. We are all into medicine because of the ethos, because of the ethics, the human connect which it helps. Technology and innovation helps us to do it a little better, helps us to do it differently, helps us to do it creatively. But the underlying core values never change. So it is like eating the same wheat. Maybe we were eating rotis before. Now we are eating it as pizza. That is the only way I see innovations are. They help us to achieve our goals much easier, but I don't think they are going to change the human values. There are a lot of concerns now that with AI has come in. Will teachers become redundant? Will the university system or colleges become redundant because technology is taking over the world? No, I feel currently is the time that teachers become more relevant, because we want to tell them that how, not only how things work or what is the knowledge gain, but why are we doing this? What is the human element in this? So I think that is the greatest gift we can give to our students and to our professional people.
Good, ma'am. So, ma'am, you told us you've been in so many roles before as Dean Academics and with the MEU. So, when we are in these roles, we always feel if I would have been the boss of, if I would have been the Vice Chancellor, I would have done this, I would have done like this. So, ma'am, now you are the Vice Chancellor. Is there any futuristic policy which you would like to, if you would have a choice, what would you introduce? One thing.
I would introduce technology into education much more. So that is what we are trying to do at Santosh. We are trying to bring future nearer to us, be it in terms of simulation-based trainings, be it in terms of getting digital learning and e-learning, be it in terms of training students in how to use technology in an ethical and more creative manner. So I think that was going to be the digital learning and digital excellence in education is going to be the thrust where we will be taking the university forward.
There's a lot of focus and relevance and importance given to accreditations in higher education. What is your take on this?
See, accreditations tells you for whenever you want to achieve something good, you have to measure yourself against set standards. You can't just say that I am good without having a standard. So accreditations sets us the standards, the benchmarks, but it doesn't really say that you have to reach only that. So there are guidelines taking us in that particular path, because without standards, we can't work in a vacuum. But accreditations are no means and ends to themselves. They help us to achieve our potential. They help us to achieve the self-actualization, what Maslow talks about. Whereas we can't take them as gospels and live only by accreditations.
Correctly summed up, sir. So, ma'am, we go on to some student rapid fire questions. Some students have, requested me they want to know this.
Okay.
So, ma'am, when you were a student, there was a lot of stress, of course, in the, medical education. Now, I'm sure at the top of the university as Vice Chancellor also, there must be some stress. So, what is your favorite stress buster?
I listen to music. I read a lot.
Okay.
And sometimes when I want, I doodle a lot.
Okay.
So that kind of, when I write down, put things on paper, it kind of becomes a little clear to me. So
what is your preference in music?
Music, I like Carnatic music.
Okay.
I like traditional Carnatic. I like Hindustani also.
Okay.
But then some film songs.
Okay.
I like Bryan Adams very much.
Okay.
So
Students will be happy to know that. And what about books, ma'am? What is your preference?
So I read a lot of history. I'm a history buff.
Oh.
Then I read thrillers and all that. I read a lot of non-fictional books also. So every day I read about 100 pages. That's the limit I set for myself.
So I'm coming to books, since we are talking about books. One book every student should read.
To Kill a Mockingbird. Every human being should read.
All the students should note that. Ma'am, if you like to put a question in another way, if Santosh University were to be a person, suppose Santosh University is a person, how would you describe its personality?
Santosh University as a person, how would you? One is it's open and it connects easily with people. It is bound by traditions, but this person is not really scared about looking into the future or technology. It has its own set of values, but it embraces people who come in. And they are culturally, it is a person who is culturally rooted into our ecosystem, but open to new ideas. I think it is a very nice mixture of past and present. Maybe I would say Santosh is like a middle-aged person.
So, ma'am, your go-to motivational quote, a quote which you would, it's kind of a favorite quote.
I like this, what Eleanor Roosevelt says, that the future belongs to people who dare to dream.
So, ma'am, now next segment is the Vice Chancellor's Vision Board. So, what does the future of medical and dental education or healthcare education looks to you? What is the
There is
future?
going to be a lot of focus on competency acquisition and outcome based education. There is integration of technology seamlessly into education, be it through simulations, e learning. Learning is going to become more and more personalized, and learning is going to be more experiential, wherein we focus more on acquiring those, doing things hands on and acquiring those experiences rather than textbook kind of knowledge. It is going to be much more competitive because our students and others are going globally. They are going to become, they are no longer bound by Indian medical graduate or dental graduate, but they are going to be more like global physicians of future. And we need to bring in at this point of time, not bring in, we need to emphasize our ethics and professionalism also in this. So this is what more personalized, outcome oriented, skill based learning is what it is going to be.
How correct is it to, ma'am, have more and more of tech in medical education?
See, technology is ubiquitous. It is there everywhere. You cannot escape. Imagine 20 years back how you were standing in the bank to withdraw 100 rupees from your own account and how you do the transactions now. So, technology is like what Elon Musk says, no? It is very pervasive. It is everywhere, and we can't really leave that. So, the best way to master this is to actually adapt it and to make it serve us rather than we getting moved over by the technology.
Yes, ma'am. Like the flip side is, like gave the example 20 years back for the bank, but 20 years back or even further back when we were in school or in colleges, we used to go out and play. We could drink water from the tap in the ground, and we had a life outside home also. But these days, because of gadgets, the children are at home and they are more and more into this. So how do we have a balance?
The other side of it, no, they are inside and connected, but I see all the time they have their fitness trackers and they are going for a run or they are more into gymming and all that. So at slowly I think the society will reach an equilibrium where they will balance human connect with technology. Yes, technology is making somewhat isolated, but I think it is because of the newness of technology. Once it gets over, we still crave for likes, we still crave for Facebook friends. So it is just taking a different dimension, I feel.
2030, ma'am. 2030, where do you see Santosh Deemed to be university?
2030, we are NAC A+. 2030, we are in NIRF 100. 2030, we are going to be recognized as one of the best private deemed to be universities in this part of the country. 2030, we will have program offerings across all the specialities. We will be having at least super speciality in 2 or 3 subjects with innovative programs. And we'll be having a student strength of around 4,000, at least intake.
What is your take on having another campus for Santosh University?
We need to work on it because there is a lot of regulatory things. So at present, our aim is to make this campus much more vibrant, much more fulfilling its needs for the students and other stakeholders. And we will slowly be expanding our things because our vision plan, institute development plan talks about having a developed infrastructure. So when the regulatory norms can yield to it, we will be establishing a second campus.
That's good. Ma'am, what do you think has been your one challenge and one milestone in your, stay at Santosh University? One challenge.
In the last 4 months.
Yes, ma'am.
The milestone is that we were able to do a lot of programs specifically for the students, the induction programs and all that.
That's true.
So that is something which I really like, and also for non-teaching and teaching. The human resource development skill which we have initiated has taken up a lot of these activities. I think I'm personally very involved in that, and I'm personally very pleased with the way in which it has shaped up. The challenge has been adapting to new environments and maybe a little bit new culture. That has been a challenge. But I think with the support from the entire top management and leadership and from the faculty and students, I think that is what keeps us going, and that is what is making it easier.
Actually, what should have been my first question, probably I'm asking in the end. Ma'am, from Pondicherry straight to NCR Delhi. I mean, could you tell us something about that? I mean, how well do you relate to the place?
From Pondicherry to NCR Delhi. Pondicherry is a much more, what do I say? It's a cosmopolitan kind of a city because it has a lot of international exposure and all that. And education, I feel, is the same everywhere. The students are the same. Maybe they dress up a little differently. They talk a little differently. But they remain the same. The faculty, I don't have much... almost the enthusiasm and the level of interest they show remains the same. Leadership has been supportive. Yes, it is. I have never stayed much in the hostels. So making personal adjustments is something of a challenge. But I think with the support I get, I'm able to cope up and do. And anyway, we are not so very aware alone in the global village, right? So you remain connected. So yes, it is a major change coming from Pondicherry to Delhi NCR. But it has been a nice change.
Ma'am, how well do you relate to UP?
How well do I relate to UP? I have a secret to share. I'm UP's Bahu for the last 25 years. My father-in-law's house is in Jaunpur. My husband was born and brought up in Port Blair because his parents were working there. But our ancestral home had always been in Jaunpur. That's near Benares.
Yes.
So I've been coming here once a year since 2010.
That's very interesting to know. Yeah.
So it is okay. But I have a confession also to make. I have never learned to make chapati till now.
So, okay. That's a good confession, ma'am. So, and ma'am, what would be your passing words to our students primarily? If with all your accolades and, your impressive persona, if a student wants to be a future Professor Mahalakshmi, what kind of, attributes they should have?
Okay. Maybe I should quote Baba Ranchor Das. No? He says that Kaabil bano, kaamyabi tere peechhe bhagegi. That's one quote I think I really, really love. All of us want to be good doctors, good physicians, good dentists, good health professionals. So to be good, we should be competent. We should be good in doing whatever we are. That's our primary objective. The purpose of us coming here is to make sure that you become a good doctor. The purpose of them coming here is that they become good doctors and physicians. So be good, then success will follow automatically. All other things are the icing in the cake. So you need to basically focus on what you should be gaining, the knowledge, skills, and the attitudes and value systems. Then all the other things will come automatically. You need to just keep yourself a little open, and all other things will fall in their place. So don't get distracted too much by extraneous things. Focus on what you're going to be and what are you going to do here, and make best use of all the opportunities. Our job is to open the doors for you, to create opportunities, to create the learning environments. That is what we are going to do as teachers. Knowledge is very ubiquitous. Now AI is also there. Just one press of a button, you will get whatever knowledge you want. But tap what skills you can learn from us, and more importantly, the critical thinking, decision making, and the attitudes and professional values. So if you could tap and get those things from your teachers, I think you're all set for a very, very bright future.
Ma'am, another thing students wanted to know, ma'am, you were a front bencher or a back bencher?
Always first rank, always first bench. I'll cry when I was a student when I don't get first rank.
Oh, bencher, ma'am. First bencher
First,
or
first bencher. Sorry.
always
I
first.
don't have anything exciting to tell you.
You are
I
always
told you I was a dork.
So, ma'am, what would be your message be to a backbencher, say in third MBBS, current
Yes.
backbencher?
See, it is only a question of moving up, right? It is not a question of staying there.
Yeah.
So everyone has an equal potential. It's just depends on how well you tap your potential. So there is nothing permanent bench which is fixed for anybody in the classroom.
Yeah.
Anyone can move anywhere.
Thank you so much. Really wonderful to interact with you, ma'am.
Thank you,
so
Rajiv.
much.
And I would like to say that it was really enjoyable coming here and talking to Rajiv and to the student community through this particular podcast. As usual, when Rajiv told me that I'm going to interview you, he gave me a set of questions and I really diligently prepared 3 days for that. And when I came here, it went totally out of script and it was an extempore kind of podcast. But I'm happy and I'm happy to have been involved as part of this and I'm happy to connect with the students through this. I hope there is something in this for everyone concerned. I hope I will get another opportunity to meet with you people and talk to you. It was indeed very nice being here.
Also, ma'am, the students have emphasized to tell you that they're really thankful to you because, of course, you were the brain behind this, making this podcast. So thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Rajiv. Thank you, everyone.